Welcome to Oral Tradition and another adventure in literature. Let's also welcome Dr. Julia, who is an educator, and she reminded me just now, a mom, an author, a publisher. And she will tell us more about herself as the program unfolds. Dr. Julia, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
What brought you to Guyana?
Several reasons, but on today's show specifically, I could not pass up the opportunity to come and sit and speak with you, Mr. Petamber Persaud, someone who has been a pillar in our community with regards to literary arts, and I consider it a great, great privilege and honor to be able to sit with you and have you hear all about what we've been doing with our newly launched publishing house and our newly launched children's books.
This is an opportune time, This is an opportune time to talk about books. Anytime, any day is a good time to talk about books. But not too long ago, we had World Storytelling Day, World Poetry Day. Tomorrow will be World Book and Copyright Day. Another couple of days, there will be Intellectual Property Rights Day. And it's all to deal with what we're doing here, the creatives, our work, the value, our target audience. And there's so many parts of a book. So many parts of a book. Not the book only. There's the beginning, the idea, the number of people that go into it. And UNESCO talks about that. In fact, that's their mandate, bringing the joy back into reading. Something close to my heart. And you, one of the reasons for producing these books, right? One of the reasons for producing these books is because you make a connection to someone dear in your life.
Correct.
Tell us about that connection and the production of these books.
Thank you so much. So, dear viewers, if you will bear with me, I would like to tell you a story. To begin, the name of our publishing house is SALAH Publishing, and SALAH Publishing is dedicated to writing and selling literature that highlights the mental and emotional wellness of children and their closest family members. And I'll get to the reason behind our mission in just a moment. SALAH Publishing was created only because I wanted to gift my son, SALAH, 7 books on his 7th birthday. I have been writing for him since he was in my womb, and it's just one of the ways in which I express my love to him. So I try to document the more special moments in his life. This was the initial agenda, just to have my own registered publishing company to produce a love gift to my son. Obviously, the universe had something greater in plan, and here I am today promoting my entire company and its platform. So, SALAH Publishing began with a very heartbreaking story, which is that when my son had just turned 3 days old, he was in a very terrible accident, and it broke us. It absolutely broke our family apart. His accident was followed by years of therapy, not only to restore the use of his hand, but also to help us understand where we were mentally and emotionally. And a Guyanese family living in parts of the world that recognize mental and emotional health and well-being, that offer many, many resources to families who might be struggling and need some kind of support and way forward. We were very blessed to be able to sit with a series of psychologists and walk through everything that had happened regarding the incident. One of the main techniques that they use to help us heal is called narrative reframing. It's a writing technique where they encouraged me particularly to go ahead and rewrite the story of what happened that day from the perspective of my son. And I kid you not, I thought I was going to die. I absolutely hated a healthcare provider because I thought she was torturing me. But with the grace of God and with her coaching and with the support of loved ones around me, I was able to finally produce that story for her. And at our next session, she sat me down and she had me read that story for her. And then she said to me, you see, but look, he's okay. He didn't stop there. The last day of him and experiencing him, your son, didn't stop the day of the accident. Here he is in front of you, sitting, playing, living, breathing, doing so many things that you probably thought he couldn't do again. And she finally said, you see, his story ended well. Stories end well. And so when I was formulating our company, that was the logo. SALAH Publishing, stories that end well. And so, dear Mr. Petamber and viewers, my mission is simple. I am here to encourage anyone who has had a very difficult moment in life that writing and storytelling is definitely a coping mechanism, a more healthy coping mechanism that could help you reach parts of your emotions, your feelings, your memories of that particular day, and doing it in the right setting with people who are trained, first of all, to help you recall certain memories and details. It can be a healing tool. And I would like to add that in our family, since the last accident, this has been one of the main techniques my son and I has used to help explain all the difficult moments he would have had in life. And as we continue our discussion, I'll be happy to tell you about the actual 7 books that were produced.
This is intriguing. I mean, I think we're now getting around to things like, what is mental health?
Correct.
Years ago, we used to shy away from such topics.
Correct.
Right? And there's so many other taboo subjects
Correct.
in our lives. Even now, we shy away, but we should face it. We should face those things. And now we're beginning to face it. And I'm happy, perhaps it's because we're learning a bit more.
Absolutely, yes.
And the internet is bringing us closer to awareness of what's happening.
Absolutely.
Not to take away from the delight of having a book to smell, to read, touch, right, to feel. Right. What do you think about reading?
Oh, that's a personal question. Reading was my escape room. Let me explain. When I was growing up, there were difficult moments that I also faced, and locking myself away into a room with a book was how I managed to kind of remove myself from the immediate surroundings. And although whatever issues I was facing as a child, I still had to go back to them and face them eventually. But for a few pages, I was sitting on the chair, the wishing chair, with wings being grown. And it took me 30 years to realize that Enid Blyton was actually saying, when you open a book, you fly away to another land.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but I was also roaming the halls of Hogwarts in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I was learning how to craft my own edgy writing techniques by reading Stephen King and so on. So what I think about a book, I think that a book is the reason I'm still here, because literature has helped me gather various perspectives, and worlds and worlds are created, and it's so easy to just get lost in them. One very important comment that you made earlier is how much more we are gaining as a society as a result of finally being privy to, and as a result of embracing, rather, the research that is being presented regarding emotional and mental health and well-being. I would like to give a disclaimer that I am not a mental health professional. I do not have many qualifications in psychology, but I have worked with a team of experts to develop a resource like this. And if you would allow me, Mr.
Yeah, of course. Give a shout out to the persons who have helped you along the way.
So while I'm doing that, I would like to tell you about the books and how they're structured, and where our very own Guyanese legends help to place more depth and more wealth into these pages.
All of that inside this series of books?
Oh, there's a lot to talk about.
Go.
So to begin, our books are quite a unique genre. They include 4 different important parts. Yes, there's a very interesting story based on the character of my son and something he has already lived and learned from. The second part would be a wellness message alongside helpful tips that directly appeals to the reader. More often than not, it's a very young reader or a parent who is touching our books, and it kind of gives them some amount of guidance on what they can do if possibly they're in a similar situation. One key individuals who assisted with the crafting of these wellness messages would be our very own Dr. Michaela McRae.
Yeah.
She has been one of our country's leading psychiatrists for the last 40 years. I've also had the honor of working with Dr. Irshad. He is one of our very own Guyanese doctors in the Guyanese diaspora in Qatar. And just having their knowledge and expertise say, don't use this word and don't use that word, or try to define this message a bit better.
So words also play a big part.
Absolutely, and especially how those words are communicated to children within this particular range or bracket.
Like we have to go deeper.
Correct.
And examine some of those words. But go.
On that same note, you will notice at the back cover of our books, it specifies that this is suitable for early readers, ages 6 to 9. And this is where I must make mention of Mrs. Bibi Shariman, Nisha Ali. She has been one of our educators for 50 years, and the contributions that she has made to education is just it's invaluable. So when it came time to proofread the drafts, she went through line by line by line and actually offered replacement vocabulary. She said, keep this shorter, don't add this to another paragraph. So in terms of how the stories are structured, it has been developed by a children's literature specialist, because she currently lectures at the University of Guyana in the children's literature department. So when I tell you that this has been a collaboration, yes, with many experts from around the world, but I am so proud to make mention of those two in particular. Last but not least, or three in particular, last but not least, you, Mr. Petamber, when it came to finally producing the copies that would be sold, you gave me that extra push, and you were able to provide reviews for me, and just based off of the admiration I have for you, and how many writers have passed through your hands, it meant everything to receive a positive review from you. So thank you so much for that.
I like that. You know, to sit with the two women you mentioned, it's a joy, it's a privilege, it's an honor to sit with either one of them. And man to woman, or whatever it is you want to say, and talk with them. They're warm people, and they've got the right words for the right time. Right? It makes you feel that you're inadequate. It makes you feel that there's so much more to learn. Tell us about the books.
So, we begin with book 1, which was actually written 3 years ago. This was the first book that SALAH and I ever wrote. And it's, again, all of the stories we have so far are based on real moments in his life. His grandmother was recently diagnosed with dementia. And again, everything I'm saying is deliberate, because in our Guyanese culture, hearing the word dementia is not very, it doesn't happen very often, okay? So in the wellness message found in this book, it specifies that sometimes our loved ones are suffering from mental and emotional conditions, and we need to understand that, and we need to be kind and supportive. So what happened 4 years ago or 3 years ago is that his grandmother was diagnosed with dementia.